All right. Good morning, futuring leaders. This morning, I want us to engage on an interesting topic: oblique thinking, the leadership edge no one talks about. Oblique thinking, the leadership edge no one talks about. Let me start by confronting a myth. Creativity is not for artists. It is for leaders. If you are responsible for outcomes, you're responsible for thinking differently. Because the future will not be built by those who repeat what worked. It will be built by those who reimagine what is possible. And here's the problem. Most leaders were trained to think vertically. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Climb the ladder. Follow the structure. Now, vertical thinking builds stability, but it rarely builds breakthrough. Then we were taught horizontal thinking. Compare options, benchmark competitors, choose A or B, do 1 or 2. Now, horizontal thinking builds efficiency, but it rarely builds transformation. The future demands something else. And this is what I call oblique thinking. Oblique thinking. It's not vertical. It's not horizontal. It's angular. It is not either or. It is both and. Let me repeat that. It is not either or. It is both and. Let me try and explain this a little differently. It's not should we cut costs or invest in growth. It is how do we cut costs and invest in growth. It is not should we protect legacy or pursue innovation. It is how do we honor legacy and just disrupt our own model. The world you are leading now is not a simple world. It is layered. It is complex. It is paradoxical. Linear thinking cannot solve non-linear problems. Let me say that again. Linear thinking cannot solve non-linear problems. And most of the challenges you are facing today as leaders are not operational. They're conceptual. They require creative courage. So, strategic thinking asks, we are here. We need to be there. How do we get there? Genius thinking asks, what have we not yet considered? And then, of course, what we're talking about today, oblique thinking asks, what if the constraint is not real? What if the assumption is wrong? What if the problem is framed incorrectly? And so oblique thinkers are dangerous in the best way. They don't reject structure. They bend it. They don't destroy systems. They redesign them. They don't say that's impossible. They say under what conditions would it be possible? And that shift changes everything. Because most limitations in organizations are not resource limitations. They are imagination limitations. So let me challenge you. What are you defaulting to? So rather, where are you defaulting to the obvious answer? Where are you choosing safe over inventive? Where are you solving symptoms instead of redesigning systems? Creativity is not chaos. It is disciplined imagination. Creativity is not chaos. It is disciplined imagination. It requires space to think. It requires psychological safety. It requires leaders who do not punish unconventional ideas. If your team is afraid to think different around you, innovation is already dead. Creative leaders do three things consistently. They create space, they challenge assumptions, they reward intelligent risk. Because the future does not reward repetition, it rewards reinvention. So let me give you a simple practice. The next time your team faces a problem, do not ask, what is the right answer? Ask, what are 5 radically different ways we could approach this? Then ask, what would a startup do if they had no legacy to protect? What would a startup do if they had no legacy to protect? Then ask, if we were forced to double results with half the resources, what would we eliminate? This, my friend, is oblique thinking. That, my fellow leaders, is oblique thinking. And the leaders who master it will not simply adapt to the future. They will design it. Because creativity is not decoration. It is competitive advantage.